Welcome to DS Trucks. In this video, I want to talk about whether or not it's worth it to plug in your diesel truck. So this is my 2020 F450. It's got the 6.7 POWERSTROKE, and I plug it in when I'm home in the wintertime. Like right now, it's like 11 degrees outside, and I had a friend drive by, and he saw my truck plugged in, and he said, "Why are you doing that?" Hold on one second. I need two hands. And this guy said to me, my friend of mine, he said, "Why are you doing that to your truck? Your truck's going to start. It's a 20 F450. It's going to start. Why are you plugging it in?" And it kind of got me thinking, like, why? Why even bother? I mean, I'm using electricity out of my house here. I like to plug this into the bush, just like that. And that keeps the plug pretty dry. So I'm using the electricity of the house, keeping this engine warm. I'm not sure how much wattage it uses, but it's not enough for me to notice anything on my bill, my electric bill. But, you know, is it really worth it? The truck will start, and there is going to be some costs. I don't know how much it is. It's nothing that I can notice, but there's definitely going to be some cost with plugging in the diesel engine. So I don't notice any excessive energy usage, but at the same time, I do not pay attention to my electric bill that closely to notice any. I guess I could go online and figure out the wattage of the engine block warmer and do a calculation of how much it would cost me for the year to run it, but it's not a big deal. It's probably something like $1 or so a day. I'm not exactly sure how much, but it's probably not very much money. But I think that whatever it's costing as far as electricity, the savings more than make up for it when it comes to engine warm-up times and the amount of fuel it takes a diesel to get up to operating temperature when it's this cold outside. Right now it's 18 degrees. This morning when I woke up, it was like 11. And at those temperatures, yes, the 6.7 POWERSTROKE is going to start, and it will run. I'm running 0W40 oil right now, and it'll absolutely start. And even if you were running 15W40, the truck would still start, and that oil would still work. It wouldn't be optimal. It wouldn't be the best. So obviously a 540 would be better, but make no mistake, at 18 degrees or even 10 degrees, 15W40 oil isn't gonna damage anything short term. Like, it's not gonna hurt anything right away. Maybe over the lifetime of the engine it might slightly lower its lifespan, but 15W40, even that oil does flow at cold temperatures until you get into the real cold stuff. But I'm in Michigan, guys. Technically speaking, you could run a 15W40 in the winter. It would be noisier at first when you start it up, but it could be done. The 5W40 is most certainly better, and the 0W40 seems to help a little bit more on top of the 5W40. But plug it in, guys, gets the engine started and it's warming. Like, you start up this right now, we're at 144 degrees, and we're not all the way up to operating temperature, but when we plug in, we start off at a good 100 degrees. A good 100 degrees on our coolant. Now, as far as it warming up the oil and all that, it is a little bit of conduction, thermal conduction that gets in the oil. The oil's not going to be at nowhere near as cold as it would be if it wasn't plugged in. But at the same time, this is not specifically an oil warmer. It is just a coolant warmer. But one time I plugged in my engine, didn't go anywhere for the day, and I popped my hood and was changing my fuel filters, and the whole motor was warm as if the engine was just running. And I was actually impressed by how much heat kind of spreads around on the metal components and under the hood. It does make a significant difference in how warm this motor is. Now, it still sounds, in these temperatures, when you start it up, it still sounds like it's cold for the first, a little bit cold. It sounds like the engine sounds a little bit cold for the first 2 or 3 minutes of driving, but nothing like when the vehicle is absolutely cold from sitting overnight. So I think the savings are really there for the fuel savings because you're not warming up your engine. I've been able to pretty much start my truck up, go, come back home, do stuff, and then it helps also too for short trips in this cold weather. Instead of having this engine being bone cold and making a short trip, which I actually have to do a lot. I've got a salter here on this truck, and in the mornings I'll check properties. All my properties are within a close proximity of my shop, and I get up, I go and check my properties, make sure they're good. Every once in a while I got to do a little salting here and there, and it's a short trip. At the end of the day, it's just a short trip, but being plugged in really does help with the short trips in this cold weather. But anyway, I just wanted to make a quick video talking about plugging in your diesels. Is it really worth it? I know a lot of those old timers will say, hey, the truck's going to start. Why do you even bother plugging it in? It starts fine. And it's true, it will start. But I got heat in the truck a lot faster. Like I'm pulling out now, I got some traffic coming. I got to step on it a little. And, you know, being a frigid cold engine, you don't want to step on it right away. You don't want to have to give it the fuel too quickly when it's too cold. You want things to be up to operating temperature. So if I forget to plug in my truck, or can't for whatever reason plug in my truck, and I got to run it cold, I'm going to run it slow for the first 4 or 5 minutes. I'm going to run it slow. I'm going to run it like 1,000 RPM, creep down the street at a low rate of speed. Whereas if I plug it in, I can get on it a little bit quicker, but then again, you got to also think about the other components involved. You still have a cold rear end. You still got still have a lot of moving parts that are straight up frozen. So I still will be easy on it for a little bit, but it does get going quicker. Heat gets going quicker. I'm not revving the engine. I'm not high idling as much, and I think the fuel savings are going to be worth it. But anyway, guys, I think it's worth it to plug in your truck when it's cold out. My name is Sean. This is DS Trucks. Thank you guys for watching. See you in the next one. Over and out.